Welcome to the Life in Focus podcast. It's brought to you through Rogers Research Global with your host, clinical psychologist, Dr. Marie Rogers.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. This is Your Life in Focus. Before getting started on today's podcast topic, which will touch on executive functioning, executive function fatigue, and the importance of your sphere of influence, I would like to take a moment to thank the Life in Focus podcast listeners for your support. I've been getting excellent feedback about topics that you would like discussed, and since Life in Focus is a merger of Psychoneuroimmunology, executive functioning, and mindfulness, we will certainly not be running out of important and interesting topics anytime soon. The field of neuroscience is booming, and learning how to live your best, your most healthiest life with an abundance of energy is achievable. You'll need the right information with the right tools and a strategic mindset. With this combination, you will easily set on course for success. For the next few minutes, I'm going to present you with 11 questions or statements that I'd like you to think about and consider whether recently they have been true for you. If you'd like to journal your responses or write them down, then this is a great time to pause the recording and go grab your journal or pen or a pad of paper and pen. You may also wish to have your journal handy for the question later in the podcast about the individuals in your life who belong in your sphere of influence. It is easier to see connections when thoughts are captured in writing. Pause the recording at any time. If you're not jotting anything down, then keep a running tally or try to remember the questions in which you answered true. Here we go. Which of the following have been true for you? 1. Recently, my sleep has been interrupted and or restless. 2. Upon waking up, I do not feel refreshed. 3. I have experienced a major life event within the past year, such as a change in job. Could be a loss in a job. It could also be a promotion. Starting a relationship, maybe even ending a relationship. Moving to a new city. Having a child. Caring for an aging parent, etc. 4. I have been relying on caffeine to get through my day. 5. I feel a constant sense of pressure and urgency to complete my responsibilities. 6. My diet recently has consisted of sugary or fast foods. 7. I have a medical challenge that affects my energy, such as a thyroid disorder or a heart condition that I am still attempting to manage and heal from. 8. I have experienced bouts of depression and or grieving the loss of a loved one who may have passed months or years ago, but the grief still feels raw and current. The loss can also include the loss of a beloved pet. With this question, going back a few years is applicable, as we now know grief does not have a time limit. I can't believe that there was a time we thought 1 year was the appropriate time span to grieve a major loss. Back to the questions. Here's the 9th. I am attempting to function in a toxic relationship or toxic environment. 10. I have been sedentary, sitting and or inactive for longer periods of time. 11. I constantly multitask and actually feel a sense of pride in my ability to do so. Our response of just one yes to any of these items will significantly affect both your internal sense of calm or peace and productivity. Our brain and body require a coordinated approach to performing at one's best. Each of the items above represent a link on a chain. However, if you responded true to 3 or more, then you are attempting to live or are living from a position of what I refer to as executive functioning fatigue, and if you're not there yet, you're on your way. Let's take a moment and review the executive functions. The term executive functions refers to the higher level cognitive skills you use to manage and coordinate your life. Think of it as the CEO sitting in the corner office. That's your executive functions. It is your personal, internal CEO. Executive functions make it possible to mentally manipulate thoughts and ideas, to think before acting, to meet novel, unanticipated challenges, to resist temptations, to remain attentive and focused. The core executive functions include planning, concentrating, focusing, critical thinking, working memory, time management, decision-making, and both emotional and behavioral regulation. Once you enter into executive function fatigue, you will have little energy to focus and efficiently get through your day. It takes about 25 years to develop the executive functioning skills, meaning it takes about a quarter of a century to fully develop a human being. In today's busy world, it's easy to get caught up with endless to-do lists and mindless engagements that serve little purpose other than to keep you on the proverbial hamster wheel of busyness. Jumping from thought to thought, activity to activity, will keep you from silencing your mind for even 30 seconds to catch your breath. Today's hectic, high-tech lifestyle of constant interruptions has left most of us feeling like human doings as opposed to human beings. Frenzied days accelerating at an unsustainable speed result in getting nowhere fast. Many are reporting feeling wired and tired, wound up, irritable. Others are adding burned out and exhausted to the mix. The end result is mind and body fatigue. The combination of this fatigue is lethargy, which translates into diminished motivation and energy to get through the day. This will eventually affect your physical health and also potentially give rise to inflammatory and stress-related diseases. So, with all that said, what helps? What can we do? Every act of self-care is an act of self-respect, and respecting your personal boundaries is a big step toward healing. Listening to this podcast is another, as I offer science-backed information and tools to live your best life. Another one that I will end with today is to take inventory of your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence is one of the PowerPoints found in your journal. I'm hoping that most of you have the Life in Focus, a self-discovery journal for powerful transformation by now. I apologize for the wait. The orders came in faster than the printing of the books. This caused a significant delay in shipping. I'm hoping most of you have your journal by now. If not, then please order it today. In there, you'll find your PowerPoints. I mentioned sphere of influence as being one of them, but here are some of the other PowerPoints that you'll find in your journal. The power of embracing joy. And I write about how joy is not the same thing as chasing happiness. The power of the connection between psychology and yoga. This is where psychoneuroimmunology, a key component of this podcast, comes in. Psychoneuroimmunology connects psychology, neurology, and immune functioning. The field of neuroscience is gaining speed in delivering helpful interventions to help soothe a stressed out nervous system and how to restore calm deep within the body. Through psychological health, which is analogous to emotional intelligence, we can strategically plan a course of action for our lives that create outcomes that our future self will thank us for. So why yoga? Because it's truly the best system for mind-body connection that I know of that we have today, and I see no reason to reinvent the wheel. Back to the powers. The third power is the power of mindfulness. Another key component in the Life in Focus podcast. The power of self-inquiry. It is through self-reflection that we grow our emotional intelligence. Without self-reflection, self-awareness is dimmed. The power of goal setting. The power of intention setting. The power of self-care. And as I said earlier, is really self-respect. The power of gratitude. The power of journaling. And the power of creating your signature morning ritual. All of this is at your fingertips in your journal. It is a dedication of 12 weeks on your part, and your return and investment is a lifetime and powerful transformation in which a significant internal shift should occur for you. Now, let's go back to the power of your sphere of influence. This will involve the 5 people with whom you spend the most time with. You can even narrow it down to 3. Write down or think about who these people are. As humans, we are hardwired for connection. This includes those of us who are introverts, definitely extroverts, and those of us who are somewhere in the middle. Our need for connection means we are more influenced by others' behaviors and actions than we may wish to acknowledge. If you want to see where you're headed, take inventory of who you're hanging around with, as these are the people who will have the greatest influence on you, your habits, your choices, your behaviors, your thoughts, and your feelings. You truly are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. We often do not like to acknowledge this, but research pertaining to mirror neurons may be behind this phenomena. Mirror neurons are a type of brain cell that play a role in understanding and imitating the actions and emotions of others. They were first discovered in the 1990s by a group of Italian neuroscientists led by Giacomo Rizzolatti. Mirror neurons are a type of brain cell that play a role in understanding and imitating the actions and emotions of others. Mirror neurons are primarily found in the areas of the brain known as the premotor cortex and the posterior parietal cortex, which are involved in motor planning and sensory processing. Mirror neurons are believed to play a role in both understanding and imitating the behaviors, the actions, the intentions, and the emotions of others. While they appear to affect human behavior and offer valuable insights, they are still very much an active area of current neuroscience exploration and research. It's important to note that while mirror neurons are intriguing, their exact function and significance are still a subject of ongoing research and debate. So, show me who you hang around with, and I will predict how successful you will become. Think about your 5 people, or maybe you chose 3. Consider each individual. How are you similar to this person? How have you grown to be similar? How has this person influenced your behavior? What habits, good or bad, have you developed as a result of being around this person? This can also work in reverse. What habits do the people who surround themselves around you develop? How are you influencing others, your loved ones, your coworkers, your team? Keeping in mind the power of the sphere of influence, go engage in your world. Do it in a way that helps you grow and that helps those around you grow as well. Be that positive influencer.
The information presented is intended for general knowledge and is not a substitute for medical advice or treatment. As with most things in life, there isn't a magic pill or cure-all, but there are strategies to help regain control of your life. If you'd like to read or learn more about today's and other related topics, please visit drmarierogers.blogspot.com. Dr. Rogers' Life in Focus, a self-discovery journal for powerful transformation, is currently available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and bookbaby.com.